Times were tough, so I sold my soul. And I don't think I'll ever regain control. Devil looked me in the eye and I looked the other way. What else could I do? I just stared at the doorway, knew I'd rather be drunk with you. I'd rather be drunk.
Hey Internet, Dracofunk here. Welcome back to my 100 subscribers special where I drive this Rover train to the South Pole and I step all over my words. Also, I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I've had a cold the past couple days and I'm not 100%. My throat's sore and it really stinks, especially since I thought I had some water here, but I don't. So that's going to make this whole recording extra fun. And today we are heading towards our scouting aircraft, and this will be the last episode before we send the scouting aircraft back to the KSC to refuel. But once we make it there to the scouting aircraft, it'll be time for the river crossing. And I've hinted about this, but I have decided how I'm going to tackle, approach, and ultimately, hopefully, successfully cross the river in this Rover train. It's been something that I've been I've done experiments with, like, how am I going to do that? But I have come up with an option, and we're going to see if it works. According to my research, this should work. But in order to do that, we have to get there. And that means we have a good amount of terrain before we get to that point today. We really need to get there by the end of this episode. So that is my goal today, is to make it to the scouting aircraft. And I think we can do that. But I'm going to be kind of pushing the pace that I've been driving up a little bit more than I have in the past, throwing caution to the wind and just trying to keep on course and conserve as much battery power as I can. And you can see we get to the top of the hills and wheels come off the ground. I tried to get a good shot of, at some point in time, the whole Rover train is jumping a hill, but I can never seem to get a good shot when it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen, and then it doesn't. But either way, we are continuing this drive. There was a nice one. And man, my throat's sore. It really stinks being sick, especially with what I do. And the past couple days, it's been really difficult, like this whole past weekend. Luckily, I pretty much had Saturday off, and I stayed in bed almost the whole time. I didn't even get on the computer. That's how bad it was. Like, I got up only to eat and use the facilities, and that's pretty much it. I put on some background noise. I didn't even watch the videos. I just stayed in bed. I took medicine, and here I am. And I hope my voice isn't too out of whack today. It's better than it has been, but I know I'm not 100%. and I keep having to mute my videos so I can clear my throat or cough. So if you hear a little bit of pauses in there, that's why. So hopefully I don't sound any funnier than I normally do. And I don't mean funny in a good way. I mean funny in my voice just isn't really what it should be. And luckily, none of my jobs in the near future require me to be using my voice as much as it could. But we are driving this Rover train still, and determined to head south. I always try and hold off on I want to make it 3/4 of the way in before I look at the map view to see how far I have to go. But yeah, it's been a struggle, and staying motivated to be on here. I think getting across the river, because I was kind of worried about that for a long time because I didn't know exactly how. But reaching a goal is very helpful, and I'm hoping that we can cut down the number of episodes to get there once I'm across. And I'll be using the scouting plane a lot more just so I have something to drive to, some sort of waypoint, because I lack that for a long while. I had planned on using the Enlightener aircraft that would be able to land and mine and refuel itself, but that fell through, and that didn't work. But this aircraft, I think it's fuel efficient enough to fly out here, do some scouting missions, and then fly back to the KSC, refuel, and then come back out and do the scouting ahead so we can see where we're going and avoid any pitfalls. Now, when I drove from the North Pole, I dropped some bases, and the reason I didn't do that is I barely had enough fuel in the aircraft to do that from the North Pole, and all of this driving or flying would be much further away, and I probably would only be able to drop one base off at a time. And doing it from orbit just isn't accurate enough. But hey, if you would like to see my videos, I did a whole series. It was our 60 subscriber special. I drove basically this Rover from the KSC all the way to the North Pole. And then for 100 subscribers special was from the North Pole, and I'm attempting to make it to the South Pole. And it's been a little bit of a rocky start. I'm questioning why I did this. It is so much driving and monotonous nothingness. Plus, we did have an accident. The actual original locomotive unit of this Rover train was damaged. None of the Kerbals died, but it was damaged. I had to fly over a replacement from the KSC. And we have added some cars on the way. Like, we added one passenger unit and the battery unit. But for all intensive purposes, the Highway 47 studio and one of the passenger cars are still the original part of the original train that left from the KSC. So long ago. So how long have I been doing this? This has been several months. I wonder if I can go back and look at our channel and see. So Highway 47, we've recently pulled up another set of subscribers, so if you're new, thanks for joining. We do some gaming content, all of us as we are able. I've been more active on that front, but we also do video commentaries. Some of us all together, some of us by ourselves. The most recent one, fortunately, Vomit was the only one able to be there for various reasons, and he did Bride of the Gorilla. So I've been at this for 5 months. It really doesn't seem like that. Well, maybe only technically 4 months. So the 100 subscriber special came out about 5 months ago, but the first video, it says 4 months ago, at least as far as I can see in the mobile app. I could look at our channel page through the website, but February 15th is when I began, was the first episode. So yeah, right about 4 months ago. And we are coming up about 3/4 of the way through, unless I missed it because I was looking at my phone instead of paying attention to the video that you are all watching. Just trying to continue on without losing my voice. There we go. And I didn't leave it on there because I forgot that the video was going to be sped up. But we are not quite to the aircraft yet, but we are close. And I was kind of not sure if I'd be able to make it before the end of this video, because I don't want to go much longer than an hour of game time to get around 15 to 20 minutes of video is what I usually shoot for. But I mean, I know how it ends. So, but yeah, I was unsure if I'd make it quite by the end of the video, but you know, I'm gonna make it. Let's just put it that. I'm gonna make it to the aircraft, and you'll see that here actually in just a minute or so. Because right there, you can see the valley. Right there is the start of the river that I'm going to have to cross. This is where the river meets the sea. So the airplane should be just over one of these hills. And is that it? No, that's a tree. Yeah, probably coming over one of these hills should be the aircraft. And I'll pull up beside that, and that's where we will stop for the day. If you've noticed, like, the time counter, this save, I should mention, occurs in the same save as my reusable space program. So occasionally there are trips to Duna happening while the rover is waiting for me to record the next episode. So that's why we are in year 6, day 393 since when I started. And there's the aircraft. So the events of the reusable space program are taking place in the same save as this. I don't remember if I had a reason for doing that, but that's what I ended up doing. But hey, I've been very busy with the reusable space program. We are about to finish up the 2nd season. And next week we will continue on with the river crossing. So stay tuned to see how I accomplish that. And check out our other videos. If you haven't done so, subscribe. And like the video, it really helps. And I'll see you guys next week where hopefully I feel better.